Hey, welcome everyone. Thank you guys so much for coming. I'm Dragon Mama. For those of you guys who don't know me, I'm a teacher, healer, raw vegan, fruitarian, and I'm super serious about healing with Phix. I'm super serious about healing in general. I've reached a point in my life where there's nothing else for me to do here on this planet besides help people heal. That's literally what I do. I hold my phone in my hand from the time I wake up, from the time I go to sleep, literally 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday, responding to clients, now working on Phix, helping people emotionally, spiritually, physically. Because once you reach the type of health and the type of healing that I've achieved through healing myself emotionally, physically, spiritually, and you look around and you see kind of the sick world, there's really not a lot of things I relate to in this world anymore, especially now becoming a raw vegan fruitarian. And my whole purpose here is just to hold people's hand while they heal. And recently, over the last month, I started using this plant medicine Phix. And at first, I was very, very skeptical. Like many people are really skeptical because the last time I was associated with MLM was in Advocare in 2003. I sold it. I peddled it. I used it. All right. I used the Advocare's L-arginine powder for 10 years when I was training. And ultimately, that was part of the motivation. I was like, I like that product for a long time. Like sometimes good things happen from MLM. So my spirit called me literally to try Phix just because of the fact that I don't know if you, and I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my background. I've healed type 2 diabetes, endometriosis, PCOS, early onset menopause with raw foods. But the missing part is the nervous system. It has been for me because I abused stimulants, alcohol. And when I say stimulants, I mean every stimulant besides cocaine, because I never wanted to snort anything. So, we're talking Adderall, Vyvanse, phentermine, caffeine, guarana, and then eventually crystal meth, plus alcohol. And so when you do that, you really destroy your nervous system. And even though I'm completely sober now, even sober of weed, you know, um, I'm somebody that struggled a lot with racing thoughts, feeling of impending doom, just repeating negative cycles of thoughts. And I wanted those out of my head and out of my heart. So I decided to take this journey with Phix, and I'm glad I did. And I'm going to ask you guys one more time, make sure you're mute. That way during the presentation, there's no background noise or weird conversations coming in from anyone else. So what I wanted to do today is teach you guys about the physiology of Phix. But before I do that, I just wanted to show you guys, because some of you are new to me, some of you are, and I just wanted to show you guys a little bit about who I am and where I came from. I wanted to show you guys a few pictures, and I hope you don't mind that as well. Let's see, I'm sharing the screen. This is from a presentation I made called How I Became My Own Doctor, when I've been asked many times to share my life story. And so I just wanted to show you a few pictures from here so you guys get an idea of who I am and where I came from. I'm going to go all the way back here and I'm going to go through this very quickly. So my background is in athletics. 2007, I was a nationally ranked Olympic weightlifter, Olympic trials. I won a collegiate national championship. At that time, I owned my own gym. I was helping very, very overweight people, like people who are 500 pounds, lose weight. So like I have 2 decades experience in the psychology of like obese people. And I was also training like professional athletes, college athletes, high school athletes, and while myself was also competing at a high level. So I have a background in athletics. During this time, I wasn't a spiritual person. I was eating meat, protein powder, all that kind of stuff. In 2012, when my weightlifting career ended, I had a brief career in like mixed martial arts, jujitsu, wrestling, boxing, all of that stuff. I did a couple of fights as well. You can see a picture of my face here. I was really hardcore. I didn't have the spiritual light in me back then that I do now. It's kind of like the lights on, but nobody's home if you look at this picture. So I was a spiritually dead person. And in 2013, I was, at this point, I had been married to my weightlifting coach for about 10 years. And I found out that he was married to 4 other women, and made 7 babies behind my back. So it was a huge trauma. I ended up on crystal meth. Long story short, you can see this is me on drugs. 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 Okay. Just complete disgrace of myself. And that ended up with me losing absolutely everything. So I lost absolutely everything. I went into a rehab program, got myself clean. And it was at the rehab program that I realized what my future was. And there was a point in 2014 that I lived next to this dumpster. And I would go back and visit this dumpster every year. And then this is the most recent time I visited the dumpster, and I found that the dumpster was gone. So this is me next to the dumpster in like 2012, and then not 2012, 2022, and then 2023, the dumpster was gone. So my history with the dumpster is gone, but it was next to that dumpster that I realized that we create our own reality. And I started to have a real spiritual awakening next to this dumpster. And if you want the elongated version of the story, I recorded a video called Rags to Riches to Raw, my whole life story, and it's on YouTube. I'm happy to give that link to anyone who wants to watch it. But I was homeless. I went to rehab. I cleaned myself up. I was introduced to the 12-step program. I was offended by it immediately because of the fact they're telling you that you're powerless. And the moment that I was introduced to step one in the 12-step program, I knew that I was going to become a healer and teach people to take responsibility for their healing, for their emotions, for their spirit, for their bodies, for everything. And I started doing like energy work and counseling, helping people on every single level, from like addiction counseling, emotional counseling. I started studying really hard, behavioral science, psychology, energy, metaphysics, the whole works. And by 2016, I was invited, just a few years after being homeless. I was homeless in 2014. And by 2016, I was invited to give my first ever presentation in Japan. And this was on my spiritual teachings back then. And here's some pictures. I was featured in Dr. Emoto's magazine. Some of you may know who Dr. Emoto is. He's the guy that talked about like the structure of water and whatnot. And then in 2016, when I gave that presentation, a lady from China flew all the way to Japan, and she said, wow, I received a message in my dream that you're a gift from God and I'm to bring you to the people of China. Will you come teach in China? I said, sure, let's go teach in China. And so I'm going to come back to that. And so from 2017 to 2020, I made 12 or 13 trips to China, and just teaching my spiritual teachings and whatnot. I hosted over 100 events in China during this time, and things blew up. They got really big. But you know what? So did I blow up. So you can look at these pictures and see me and Jared. Jared's my partner. We fell in love and we both got fat together. So and I'm going to skip over this. It's some of the testimonials of some of my clients in China. And my Chinese clients weren't about weight loss, okay? They were always about spiritual ascension. So when I took their before and after pictures, it was always about seeing, okay, they're miserable, now they're happy. They're miserable, now they're happy. And I took a lot of pride in helping people wake up their hearts for several years. But the consequences of traveling and getting so much into the spirit realm was I was just eating whatever I wanted. And this is me in 2017, 2018 at 187 pounds. Okay. Got super, super fat. Yeah, really fat. And it was in 2019 that I actually decided to take my life back. And during COVID, I wanted to share these pictures too, because this is part of my story. I was drinking a lot of alcohol. We were making a lot of money from our virtual classes, a lot of like hair color and makeup and dyes and spending money on stupid stuff. This was a part of my healing process too, before turning into a raw vegan and letting this entire material world go. I don't use any of it anymore. As most of you guys know, no hair dye, no color, no soap, no shampoo, no deodorant, no anything, all 100% raw, 100% natural. It was in 2019, I decided to take my life back and start fasting and starting losing weight. And really in 2020 to 2023, I was eating mushrooms constantly. I ate so many mushrooms, I became a mushroom. And on August 12th, let's see, August 12th here of 2022, I ate 17 grams of psychedelic mushrooms. And that's the day that I gave up alcohol, I gave up caffeine. And that's the day that the mushroom told me, you're going to become a raw vegan healer and you're never going to eat meat again. You're never going to eat cooked food again. And this is the way that you're going to finish healing your body and become a healer for the world. So the mushroom told me that on this dose that happened in 2022. And then, in 2022, shortly after I took that dose of mushrooms, I was told that I was going to lose my uterus. I needed a hysterectomy. And so that was more signs from the universe that I needed to become a raw vegan. I walked into the doctor's office.
You want a salad, love?
Whoever's talking, please mute yourself. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. Thank you, thank you. 2022, I walked into the doctor's office to talk to the doctor who was supposed to remove my uterus because I was so sick, right? And I saw this sign on the wall, and this is the sign of God touching the brain of like the Michelangelo painting of God touching David, and basically saying your mind is God. And I saw this as a sign that I'm not supposed to listen to this doctor. I'm supposed to just heal myself. And I walked out of that doctor's office that day and I never went back. PCOS is gone, the endometriosis is gone, the type 2 diabetes is gone. I'm a completely healed person. And so from 2023 to 2024, I started juicing, I started eating a lot of watermelon, I started becoming a raw vegan, all the health problems started melting away, and I leveled up. And these are recent pictures of me now with juices and watermelons. And I share you all this information before I start talking about Phix, so you guys know what perspective I'm coming from here. All right, Phix is not a joke. All right. If Phix was anything besides raw and the highest level of stuff, I wouldn't put it in my body, because I healed everything with foods. I healed everything through detoxing my body and eliminating all the things that were poisoning me. And that made me get better. And the last thing that I was left with was a shot nervous system. And so that's where Phix comes in. And that's where I want to start my presentation of sharing with you guys what is Phix and how does it work. If I may switch presentations here. Let's see. I love teaching, if you guys can't tell. I love presenting. I love talking to people. I love what I do. So what is Phix? Okay, most of you guys know this, but Phix is 100% raw, cold pressed, fully mature hops. Okay, it's taken from the Humulus lupulus plant. They take it from the cone-shaped part of the flower. I'm gonna ask you guys to mute yourself, please. Please mute yourself. Please stay muted. Push the mute button, use it. That way there's no excess noise. It's taken from the cone-shaped flower of the plant. And the cone is considered the reproductive organ. And so technically mature hops is a fruit, and Phix is a fruit extract. All right, the only thing that's in the little blue bottle is the hops extract plus distilled water. There's no alcohol, okay? There's no gluten, there's no anything else. It's literally just the extract from the fruit plus water. And I can give you guys my guarantee, if I wouldn't put it in, if I put it in my body, it's got to be pure. And if it wasn't pure, 100% sure, I would know it, because my body responds very strongly to anything that doesn't go along with my all fruit diet. All right, so here's where I want the learning to kick in. Okay, I want to teach you guys, because some of you guys are distributors and some of you guys are looking to use it for yourself. We have all different types of people in this meeting and watching this video. Okay, so the first thing you have to understand is that mature hops has been shown to stimulate what's called the vagus nerve. All right, and it's important that you understand what the vagus nerve is. And I highly recommend that you go on ChatGPT or Google and you ask it, what is the vagus nerve? And what you're going to find is it's a nerve system. It's a nerve, but it's a system of nerves and nerve endings and synapses that connect your brain to the rest of your body. All right, and here's a picture of it here. You can see it connects to the lungs, to the heart, to the liver, to the spleen, to the kidneys, to the stomach, to the colon, right? To the pancreas, gallbladder, to everything. All right, it literally helps your body function. Okay, it stimulates digestion. It helps keep your heart rate at a slow enough pace so that you don't have a heart attack. It reduces inflammation in your body. All right, it supports your immune system by helping all of your organs work together. It also regulates all of your hormonal system, like your mood, your stress, and your anxiety. And what it basically does, this thing in red here, is it regulates what's called your parasympathetic nervous system. All right, your parasympathetic nervous system, your body function in all ways. And it has two parts. And the most important thing for you to understand is that these two parts cannot and do not function simultaneously. Okay, you have your sympathetic nervous system and your parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, they cannot be on at the same time, right? You're either in a sympathetic state or a parasympathetic actually works and heals. Okay, so let's break it down. Your sympathetic nervous system governs your fight, flight, freeze, or fawn responses. All right, and when you're in a sympathetic nervous system state, your body makes adrenaline and cortisol. And this is actually an important part of our survival and self-protection mechanism in our body. originally fight and flight is for basically, if you're a caveman and the saber-toothed tiger comes into the cave, your body is going to be like, holy shit, I need to get out of here. And it's going to make a lot of adrenaline. And then you can be really strong and run really fast so that you can do a superhuman feat when your life is in danger. That's what fight and flight is really for. Okay. Now, cortisol is a hormone that your body makes when there's internal stress. So if something happens inside of your body, whether it's something you eat, like or take in, like caffeine, or stress that you experience from an external situation, your body is going to make the hormone cortisol to help level you down. So these are your two stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol. When your body is making adrenaline and cortisol, you cannot rest, relax, digest, and restore. You cannot. Okay, but fast forward to today. Most people are constantly living in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And we make the biggest deal out of absolutely everything because that is how we've been programmed to react to our lives. Constantly, adrenaline and cortisol, we're running on it. And when we're running on it, we cannot do these things. So the parasympathetic nervous system is responsible for rest, relax, digest, and restore. And the four main hormones associated with it are dopamine, serotonin, GABA, and oxytocin. Okay? Dopamine is like your ability to experience joy. Serotonin is like your mood stabilizer hormone. GABA is your hormone that gives you like a lot of peace, right? And oxytocin is the hormone that allows you to feel love. So a lot of times, people who are running on adrenaline and cortisol, the sympathetic nervous system, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, we cannot have joy, stability, peace, and love. You feel it in theory, but you can't really experience it on the level that you want to. That's because you are locked in the state of a parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, going back for 1 second, Phix stimulates the vagus nerve, which governs the parasympathetic nervous system. So that means when you take Phix, this turns back on. Rest, relax, digest, restore. Dopamine, serotonin, GABA, oxytocin. This is what gets turned back on. And that's a good thing because when that happens, when your body is in rest, relax, digest, and restore, when you're relaxing, your body will automatically go into this state where it is restoring and healing itself. Your body cannot regenerate and heal in a state of adrenaline and cortisol because your body is trying to protect itself from a threat. When your body is protecting itself from a threat, right, you're not rest, relax, digest, and restore. So you see this little guy here on these right here. This is how most of us live our life, right? Constantly, all right? And what Phix helps you do is switch from this guy to this meditating Zen person right here. Now, why is your vagus nerve sleeping? Most people's vagus nerve is sleeping, and that's really scary, right? It's really scary if your vagus nerve is sleeping, because if your vagus nerve is sleeping, you can't rest, digest, restore, and heal. There's no dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and GABA, right? You're constantly in a state of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. What causes this, right? Stress, the worries of living in this weird world that we live in, addiction to people, places, things, foods, drugs, right? Attachment, especially stimulant abuse. Okay. If you're a coffee drinker, you drink coffee every day, your body's going to make cortisol to try to bring your body back to a homeostasis. That's all you're feeling when you drink caffeine is the cortisol that your body is making to try to like counteract the effects of caffeine in your body. Trauma also puts you in a state of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Pharmaceutical drug use. All right, they have a lot of toxic chemicals in it, and pharmaceutical drug use makes your body produce a lot of cortisol. All right, it's an internal war. Street drug use, again, a lot of poison in street drugs, and your body's making a lot of cortisol, so you're in a sympathetic nervous system state. Emotional eating, all right, a lot of the things that we emotionally eat, like sugars, cakes, breads, dairies, processed meats, all of this stuff, emotional eating, there's a lot of chemicals and preservatives in there, and your body has to make a lot of insulin and a lot of cortisol in order to return to a homeostasis. So the key thing to remember here is when your body is making adrenaline and cortisol because of the fact that you are under stress, addiction, stimulant abuse, trauma, pharmaceutical drug use, street drug use, and emotional eating, then you cannot be doing rest, relax, digest, and restore. So then what ends up happening? We end up gaining a lot of visceral fat. We end up turning to things like antidepressants and psychiatric drugs. We end up having like fatty liver. We end up getting type 2 diabetes. A lot of this is because of the fact that the parasympathetic nervous system is turned off. Phix, or mature hops, specifically targets the vagus nerve, which turns the parasympathetic nervous system back on, which is an absolutely beautiful thing. So here is the list of things that happen when you live in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, which is your sympathetic nervous system, for an elongated period of time. Okay, your body stores fat because it's trying to protect you. It's worried about you. It sees it as a self-defense and self-protection mechanism. Visceral fat is the fat around your organs. It's that tire that you have around your midsection, all right? And basically your body stores it around your organs to prevent all of the chemicals and bad things that you've put in your body from reaching your organs. That's what visceral fat is. And we're going to talk a little bit about that white adipose tissue also that gets stored around your organs. It's very dangerous. Okay. When you're in the state of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, digestion slows down and your gut gets backed up and your gut gets very acidic. And an acidic gut causes a lot of disease in the body. The more adrenaline you make from being in a state of fight and flight, your adrenals are going to be shot, and then you're going to be constantly tired and your quality of sleep is going to be terrible. Once your adrenal system shuts down, then you start having hormonal issues like female issues, estrogen issues. All of your hormonal systems in your body are linked together. So once your adrenals are shot, you're kind of screwed. You know, then you become insulin resistant. Then you have estrogen dominance. And then it's like one domino after the other. And then you find yourself 50, 60, 70, 100 pounds overweight in some cases, blaming everything on your hormones. But really, there's a lot more to it than that. You're in a state of sympathetic nervous system. Your body gets tired from constantly fighting. And when you can't fight anymore, your immune system gets weakened and you become more inflamed. Then you can't sleep right? Because you're running on adrenaline and cortisol, right? You can get muscle tension. And then, of course, all of these things add up together to make your mood shitty. And it makes you reactive. It makes you not a fun person to be around. So if any of these things look or sound familiar, and they're going to appear different in everybody, not everybody gets fat, right? Some people just get, the mood swings. Some people just get the muscle tension or they can't sleep. But some people get the whole shebang, finding themselves super overweight with all of these symptoms. And it's all because a lot of it's because your vagus nerve is shut down and you're probably eating like shit. But you're eating like shit because your vagus nerve is shut down. So emotional eating is actually a byproduct of having your vagus nerve disconnected. Because when you're in a state of rest, relax, digest, and restore, you don't feel the need to emotionally eat. You're like, oh, let me just eat this and I don't need anymore. Because when your vagus nerve is shut off and you're constantly in this state of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, then you want to stuff your face to try to sedate yourself and you use food as a drug. Then you get more visceral fat, your digestion slows down, and you ignite this entire domino effect that makes your whole body sick, right? So when you're in the parasympathetic state, the sky is the limit for what can happen when you allow your body to go into rest, digest, and heal and regenerate and restore. Okay, this is your body's natural state of healing. And this is why Phix is such a beautiful plant medicine. When your body goes into a natural state of healing, there is absolutely no limit to the type of healing that can happen and the type of miracles that can happen, honestly, which is why I love Phix so much. Okay, your hormones will come back into balance. All right, your visceral fat can be reduced. Okay, and the way that visceral fat is reduced is when your body feels safe, it's going to start letting go of the things that it was holding on to in order to protect itself. This is all because your body feels safe. Your digestion can improve. And by the way, this digestion slows down. I think that was copy pasted from my other thing. That shouldn't be on here. So don't look at that. That doesn't go on this list. Sorry. I put this presentation together in the last day or so. Excuse me. But I want to make sure and point that out. But your digestion is going to improve, right? And nutrients are going to be absorbed at a higher rate when you're able to relax, because your vagus nerve is connecting your brain to the rest of your body. So your brain's going to start instructing your gut and your colon and all the rest of your body on what to do with the excess toxins and how to release them. So inflammation is also going to heart rate's going to calm down, your blood pressure is going to normalize, it's going to help your breathing. All right, your entire your nervous system is a huge part of your organ health and your overall health. And so when this happens, when we start to calm our nervous system, it's more than just this. Like, you can literally shrink tumors this way. You can shrink fibroids this way. Skin issues can heal, because all of these things that your body is accumulating, whether it's tumors or fibroids or fat, cysts, it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. It's your body's way trying to store toxins and hide those toxins from your organs. All right, so some people have skin issues, some people have cysts or fibroids, some people have extravisceral fat, some people have cancer. It's literally all the same thing. And so your body creates these storage containers for toxins. And then when your parasympathetic nervous system goes back on and your brain is able to speak to your body for more than like 5 minutes at a time, your body's going to start releasing all of those toxins into your bloodstream. And then eventually you're going to release them either through like poop or pee, through the lymphatic system, like through your skin, through sweating. All right, they're all going to come out. And so there's some people that say things like visceral fat melts. Well, technically, it's a detoxification process where your body's like, okay, I don't need to hold on to this anymore. And then it just ends up coming out, right? It's a beautiful process. So there's some things that you need to understand about the way that plant medicines heal, because Phix is a plant medicine. It's a fruit extract that comes from the hops plant. So pharmaceutical drugs, when you take them, because they're synthetically engineered, they're dead. They have no consciousness. Okay, they're going to specifically target one or several symptoms in your body. They're going to force a chemical reaction to those symptoms in order to suppress the symptoms because they have a fixed agenda. Okay, and then they're going to disconnect your body from feeling any other signals because they have a one-track mind. Suppress the symptoms and achieve the agenda with no consciousness and no life. When you take a plant medicine, you have to understand that this hops, it's a living intelligence. It came from a plant, it came from a flower, it's a fruit, it's raw, it's cold pressed, it's fully mature. It has its own natural consciousness. It is literally alive. Okay, so it is there to work in harmony with your body. It's called Phix because it will literally fix whatever's wrong with you if you let it. So we're talking tumors, cysts, high glucose, skin issues, bad mood, hormonal imbalance, addiction, you name it. Phix is going to sort it out because it's going to go inside of your body and it's going to figure out what's going on, and then it's going to target the root cause of the issue instead of just the symptom. So when the root cause of an issue is targeted, we're going to go into something called detoxification. And sometimes, and this is what it's important for a lot of distributors to understand and users of Phix to understand, that sometimes detoxification can be very unpleasant. So some people get headaches. Some people have racing thoughts. Some people have a tightness in their chest. Some people can't sleep while some people are sleeping well. That's because this is a plant medicine and everyone has a different set of issues going on inside of their body. And what Phix is helping you do is release the blocks to your healing. And it's helping you detoxify the chemicals and the toxins and the poisons that are stored up in weird places inside of your body. All right, so that your body can learn to nourish itself and heal again. So Phix can affect multiple systems at once. Your digestive system, your skin, your liver, your kidneys, your mood, your hormonal production. It's going to increase the connection between the brain and the gut, which is huge. If you're a raw vegan, we talk about the brain-gut connection all the time and how your gut is the first brain and how most of the serotonin that your body is produced is actually produced in your gut. So when your brain-gut connection is re-stimulated, this is when the emotional eating becomes less, okay? Because what happens, and my raw vegans know this, is that when you eat shit and you eat a lot of dead food and you eat sugar and a lot of ultra processed foods, you get like plaque and mucus in your gut, and those have become a breeding ground for parasites. Okay, you're gonna have parasites in your gut. And those parasites start running the show. Okay, and those parasites are gonna start talking to your brain, telling your brain to send signals to you, to your consciousness, that you need to eat this and this and this and emotionally eat. Well, once we start taking Phix in the brain gut relationship is fortified again, all right, that brain is gonna, the vagus nerve is gonna take back over, and it's gonna refortify itself and telling you, don't eat this shit, don't emotional eat, put that down. And so if you're someone who's willing to listen to your body and receive the plant medicine consciousness, Phix can be very useful in helping you adopt a much healthier plant-based diet. All right. And that's the absolute truth. So I don't like hearing around people selling Phix, oh, you can just eat whatever you want and you'll still lose weight. Well, technically, yes, but that's also putting your body back at war. So why would we want to do that, right? The whole point of taking something like Phix is to end the war inside of your body and to make homeostasis and peace again, okay? And the more you put shit in your body, you're just reigniting a war over and over and over again. So anyone who uses Phix should be taught and trained to use this as a plant medicine healing journey, whereby you can start to receive messages and signals from your cells, from your higher self, from your consciousness, from the plant consciousness itself, that's going to instruct you what you need to do and who you need to become to achieve the next highest version of yourself. All right. And I feel that happening with myself every day on Phix, which is why I'm so incredibly passionate about sharing this. Okay. And one of the last subjects I wanted to talk about, well, I have a few more subjects, is white adipose tissue. And white adipose tissue, or WAT, this goes along with like cysts, cancer, tumors, visceral fat. Okay. And it's just another self-defense mechanism that your body has to store toxins, to make sure those toxins don't go into your organs. And this is all because humans are programmed to eat shit. Ultra processed food, meats that have been vaccinated, meats that have been dead for 30 plus days, dairy, chocolate, like all of this stuff. And so your body doesn't know what to do with it. And a backup happens in your gut, and your organs are all right there. And your body's like, shit, what am I going to do with all these toxins? And so it starts to make these, clumps of tissue to store all the toxins, so the toxins don't leak into your liver, into your pancreas and gallbladder and kidneys. It does the best that it can. So the white adipose tissue protects your organs from toxins, and it traps like excess hormones like estrogen, because the more shit you eat, the more estrogen dominant you're going to become, whether you're a man or a woman, for both of you. And it puts your body back into a sympathetic state, because when you have a lot of white adipose tissue, your body's going to make a lot of cortisol, extra cortisol, to try to release all the toxins. And so your body is constantly panicking, and this causes inflammation. More cortisol makes more inflammation. And then your body starts being like, okay, let me make more insulin, because insulin is the hormone that your body recruits to convert chemical into energy, sugar into energy. Okay. And so your body's like, let me make cortisol, let me make insulin, let me make estrogen, anything I can to get all these chemicals out of my body. And then you become a hormonal and a chemical mess. All right. Then your body can't absorb nutrients anymore because your gut is full of shit. And then there's all this white adipose tissue around your organs, and there's no absorption. And then you wonder why you feel bloated when you eat something like fruit or vegetables, right? Because you just can't absorb anything. So white adipose tissue also soaks up like the energy from your trauma, and it just becomes metabolic waste. And so when you take something like Phix that puts you back into the parasympathetic state, you stop making so much cortisol and adrenaline, and you start making more of your peace hormone, right? And when your body feels at peace, you stop doing all of these things, right? And so a lot of people say that, okay, and this is true, Phix is mature hops has phytoestrogens in it. And people think that if you take phytoestrogens, some people think this, and you're going to hear this around the community, oh, that's going to make more estrogen in your body. But it's actually the opposite, and I can prove it. Okay, phytoestrogens are actually help reduce estrogen dominance. So they're an antagonist to estrogen in your body. And the proof of that, I'm going to say the proof of it first. The proof is that people who take Phix all lose visceral fat, every single one of them. And so visceral fat happens in the presence of more estrogen, all right, not less estrogen. So anytime you're seeing people take a plant medicine and they're losing visceral fat, that means they're losing estrogen. And so I hope that makes sense to you. So if the phytoestrogens were causing more estrogen buildup in the body from the Phix, then we would see people having more visceral fat, not less visceral fat. So the phytoestrogen fear is just that. It's a fear that's based on ignorance and a lack of knowledge. Okay. When your body stops panicking, you can re-achieve a state of homeostasis where your body can re-regulate itself hormonally That way you can relax and let your body do what it's supposed to do. Okay, so the last couple things I want to answer are these. And then we have a few people who are going to share, and then we can have a few questions answered as well. So one thing you have to remember is that drugs have side effects, okay, but plant medicines cause detox. So when you take blood pressure medicine or statins or something like that, synthetic insulin, that has side effects. Oh, what are the side effects of this medicine? What are the side effects of Phix? There's no side effects. There are no side effects. Okay, getting a headache is not a side effect. Having increased mental capacity or focus is not a side effect. Okay, anything that's unpleasant from taking Phix is a detox symptom. Plant medicines cause detox, drugs cause side effects. So it's important that we all acknowledge that difference. And so you have to understand that there is crap in your body. White adipose tissue is crap, all right? Cysts, fibroids, tumors, crap. Excess visceral fat, crap. It's not just going to disintegrate into nothing, all right? Your body, your brain, through your vagus nerve is going to tell your body to release these things. And then when it gets released into your bloodstream, it has to come out. And while it's coming out, you might feel like shit for a little while. And so we have to prepare people and help people understand that this is part of the process of healing with a plant medicine. And so people ask, how long does it take? Well, that depends. How sick are you? How fat are you? How addicted are you? You know, it's for every single person, it's going to be different. But here's what I know about plant medicines. Plant medicines, you use them and then they're done with you. Drugs, you have to take them forever. Phix is a plant medicine. Some people might have to take it several months. Some people might have to take it a few years. I'm willing to take, I took mushrooms weekly in large doses for a few years. And it helped me quit drinking alcohol, made me a better person, made me more loving and compassionate, and made me quit caffeine, and it made me become a raw vegan. Best thing I ever did. If I have to take Phix for a few years to reset my nervous system, I'll do it. Okay, I will do it. I don't know how long it's going to take for anybody. That depends. But what I've experienced so far with Phix is that the plant medicine consciousness inside of you is very strong. People ask, how much should I take? What is the dosing? What should I take? So you're going to know that. You start off with one dose. If you feel nothing, you take a dose and a half the next time. If you feel nothing, you take 2 doses. Then if it becomes too much, you back off of it. Your body is going to give you strong biofeedback by taking Phix. Some people take 2 doses in the morning and none at night. Some people take 1 in the morning and 1 at night. Either is fine. It depends on what's going on with you. If you're someone who has trouble sleeping, if you're highly wound, if you're really stressed and have anxiety, if you're someone that struggles with addiction, okay, you have to be willing to play with it and to encourage the people who you share this with to play with it too. It's not going to be the same for any given person, just like mushrooms is the same for any given person, just like no plant medicine is going to be the same with any given person, because plant medicine is consciousness. So these are my main points today. And I want to make sure you guys know I'm here to answer your questions too. I want to invite some sharing guests. And I've got 2 of them. I'm going to invite Jenny first and Stephanie second. If you have questions, put them in the comments section of the meeting. And before I invite Jenny on, Jenny, this is about your 2 or 3 minute warning. I want to talk just a little bit invulnerably, and I'm going to stop the screen share, about how Phix has helped me. So as I was saying, I have a history of stimulant abuse, addiction, alcohol abuse, caffeine abuse, really, really stressed out person. I have feelings of impending doom, like I'm a self-made person. And sometimes all I can think about is like, I don't have a retirement. I don't have a pension. I'm going to be like old and retired and like not have any money. And like, I'm going to be working until I'm 120, you know, because I've been self-made my whole life. Like it's just on constant replay, the fears, the doom and gloom. And it's just ridiculous. It really is. It's absolutely ridiculous. And since I've been taking Phix, my doom and gloom, repeated looping fears is reduced by about, I'd say right now by about 60%, going on 70%. And I'm really, really grateful for that. And what I can feel is that my brain has been wired to think this way for so long. First of all, I've been homeless. And so like when you sleep next to a dumpster, you never want to sleep next to a dumpster again. So, you know, that's one of my fears always, is like, I don't ever want to be homeless again. And so that's like from my trauma. And so I literally can feel the Phix teaching my brain to use logic and reason and being like, okay, it's been 10 years and you've been taking care of yourself for 10 years. You're not going to be homeless again. Like, you're never going to be homeless. Like, too many people love you and you have money and you have a career and you have everything. It's just a ridiculous fear. It's based on trauma. So I can literally feel the Phix getting into my brain and teaching me to rewire my own thoughts. Now, does that mean the thoughts are completely gone? No. Absolutely not. But I can feel my brain being rewired. And that's why I'm going to keep taking this medicine, is because I can feel the plant medicine consciousness inside of me, teaching me how I'm supposed to think and feel from a state of higher consciousness that's based on my higher self, not my lower self and not my worst fears. And then when this happens, my manifesting power is going to go through the roof, because we manifest with our thoughts and our emotions. And the universe doesn't respond to what you do. It responds to who you are on the inside. So when you start resetting your nervous system, a lot of things have the potential to turn around, even your financial situation, your life situation, because the universe responds to your emotions. It responds to like who you are on your inside, what you believe is possible. And a lot of our minds have been hijacked by the way this world is set up to make us like feel fearful and afraid. And like we're bombarded by these frequencies, like through the news media, through fear propaganda, through wherever you get your information from, through social media. And we have to do something to combat this. And healing the vagus nerve is a big deal. All right. Your vagus nerve connects your brain to the rest of your body. Right. And most of our vagus nerve is so shot. And so this plant medicine is a beautiful gift from Mother Nature. I'm so incredibly grateful for it. You know, with regards to the MLM thing, I never would have thought that I would have been associated with an MLM ever. But I put myself from a mentalizing standpoint in the shoes of the scientist who made this. What is he going to do with this plant medicine extract? Put it in a supplement store? Put it in gyms? Nobody's going to buy that. You have to put this plant medicine in the hands of healers, in the hands of people who are doing this type of healing, so that they can heal themselves and then tell their story. So from that perspective, I understand why this company is being done MLM. From my personal point of view, I'm not doing this and like telling people to come into the business. Like, I'm here for the healing. If you want to be a part of the business, awesome. You know what I mean? If you want to distribute it, awesome. But I'm not pressuring people to do it. I'm not pressuring people to buy it. Every single person who has approached me about it, that's how people are signing up. I don't like this hard sells. I don't love gloating. Me feel weird to be around that energy. Clients go on Phix as well. I'm seeing my connection's gone out for a second. Am I back? Am I good? Okay, awesome. So that's probably a sign I'm going to welcome on Jenny. I just want to say this. Anyone also who's interested on the path of raw veganism, go to my Facebook page, to my pin post. Download my free green juicing ebook. It will change your life. It's a 17-page document. Check it out, print it out, read it cover to cover. Clean your gut while you're using Phix. Don't just use this and eat whatever you want. Like, learn to love yourself and care for yourself, right? A huge part of healing this planet, it's healing our nervous system, but it's also standing up for the animals, not eating animals anymore, embracing veganism, learning to love ourselves and love the planet and take care of absolutely everyone and everything. And anyone who I invited here, if you're seeing this message and you want to use the code Dragon Mama to sign up for Phix through seeing this video, I'll give you a 15-minute coaching call with me. Just say you saw me in this meeting and say, I want to buy Phix from you. I'll give you a 15-minute coaching call. But if you were sent here by somebody else, right, who's trying to sign you up, go back to them. I'm not trying to steal anybody's business. There's plenty of it to go around for everybody. So make sure you go to the person who brought you here. And I want to bring on Jenny. She's going to share first, and Stephanie, I'll bring you on next. Jenny, are you here?
I am.
All right, you guys, I'm gonna hand the mic over to Jenny. Jenny, this is what I do when I pass the mic. I go like this. You got it?
I got it. I got it.
Okay, awesome. It's all yours.
Hey everybody, I'm Jen. I actually met Tracy back in February. I I watched her from the sidelines for like 6 months before I even commented on any of her posts or reached out. And I've been on my own healing journey. I'm about ready to hit 75 days as a raw vegan. And because of Tracy's guidance, I have literally changed my life around. I've healed so many things. We have a really similar story. I'm about ready to hit 6 years sober off alcohol and cocaine. I did coke for, gosh, 10 years. I was on bipolar meds for about 12 years. Narcotics, big pharma narcotics. I've had several surgeries. Another thing that Phix hops can help you with is actually if you've had abdominal surgeries. And I've had two really major abdominal surgeries. I had a full hysterectomy and my gallbladder removed. But anyway, I watched Tracy on the sidelines, her and Jared, and I was intrigued because I have healed so many things in my body, but my brain is still just crazy. I should say my brain was just crazy. Um, I have mood swings. I overreact literally everything. And the fix has literally, it's like rewiring my brain. My husband, I just hit 90 days sober off weed, was the last drug I had to give up. And when my husband and I drive, I'm like the worst backseat driver ever. And he goes, "Are you sure you didn't go back to smoking weed? Because you just aren't even reacting over anything anymore." And I'm not. I have no desire to. I have like this sense of calmness. I mean, I'm a hippie chick, but I have this sense of calmness that I haven't had since I was a little girl. And I can't even believe, I've tried a lot of different things. I've tried a lot of different supplements, and this fix is literally changing my life every day. The other thing I noticed is I have insomnia. And so I'll go to bed for about 3 hours. I don't have my coccyx. I had another surgery. I had my coccyx removed, and so I don't sleep for very long. And so I would wake up at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm up all night. And that just doesn't happen anymore. I'm sleeping soundly, which is just awesome. And the best thing is I've lost a lot of weight since November. I've lost close to 60 pounds. I've lost a ton of body fat, but my visceral fat has just been holding on. And Tracy recommended I buy this Euro scale. And so I've been on Phix for almost 3 weeks now, and I'm down 2 whole pounds of visceral fat. And that has just been holding on for dear life. So, yeah, I can't say enough nice, awesome things about Phix and what it's done for me. So I guess that's all I have to share.
Can't hear you, Tracy.
Still muted.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. So one of the things I wanted to ask about here is someone asked about heavy metals, and I want to answer that question before I bring Stephanie on. And the answer to that question is the heavy metals are also stored in your visceral fat and the white adipose tissue. So when your body starts feeling safe enough to release the toxins, the heavy metals go out with that as well too. So heavy metals are stored in fat cells, and that includes all different types of fat cells. The visceral fat, the white adipose tissue, your gut, even your subcutaneous fat, I think can be also, they're saying that Phix does not reduce subcutaneous fat, but you will see a small reduction in overall fat, I believe, when you take Phix. It's a little hard to measure what's going on, but you will definitely be releasing toxins from your body. All right. Okay, Stephanie, come on.
Do I need to do anything, Tracy?
Oh, no, you just start talking.
Oh,
Um, my name's Stephanie. I am 57. I started following Tracy probably between 15 and 20 years ago. I mean, it was in the very beginning. And I've kind of kept up with her over the years. I've taken a few of her courses, and I've watched her journey, and that has been hugely inspiring to me. And that's one of the biggest reasons that I said I got to try this. If Tracy puts her stamp of approval on it, it means it's like gold. Um, I grew up with a very abusive childhood. My nerves have been stressed since I came out of the womb. So I've dealt with depression and anxiety most of my life. And about 15 years ago, I went on blood pressure medicine, and I've been on Lexapro for 20 years. And all I can say about this Phix is that it is, when you take it, you're just like, wow. It hit me immediately. I felt a lift, a lightness, a calmness, which I've never had a calmness. My mind has always been like a 20 ring circus. My thoughts have thoughts. Those thoughts have thoughts. I mean, it's like, I mean, people would put me away because if they could hear inside my head,
Shut your fucking ass up,
there's all
bitch.
these conversations going on. And I went on Adderall a couple of years ago.
Oh shit!
Somebody please mute yourself. We can hear you. Somebody just said, "Oh shit, we hear you. Please mute yourself."
Okay. So anyway, 2 years ago, I went on Adderall because my mind was just like a racing maniac. It was keeping me tired all the time. But with the Phix, my mind is actually quiet now. I've never had quiet in my mind. Even going to sleep was very hard because my mind wouldn't shut up. Constant conversations. And I had that same thing Tracy had. It's like the thinking the worst of all the time. It's like my kids would leave the house and I would literally play out 50 scenarios of how they could die or get hurt by the time they get back home. And I mean, everything I did was from an emotional point. I couldn't even hardly go to the bathroom without it being an emotional experience. It was ridiculous. Everything was connected to these crazy out of hand emotions that I had. Now I feel, I've been on it about 2 weeks now. I've lost about 7 pounds, but I feel such a calmness in me. It's like, wow, this is what you should feel like. You shouldn't have to wait 57 years to feel like this. I'm so grateful that I'm finding this now because, gosh, after all this time, I was feeling like I've run out of options. There's just nothing that's going to fix me. I've always felt like my brain was broken. And I can, like Tracy said, you can feel how it makes your mind work differently. You can tell it's working in a completely different way. You Everything appears different. It's kind of hard. Wow.
Somebody just screamed, like, "Please mute yourself, please." I don't.
Yeah.
Does anyone see which account that's coming from?
Oh no.
No. Please continue.
Anyways, it's been wonderful for me. I've had these yellow little tissues in my eyes for like 20 years. The eye doctor always says, "Oh, it's just from not wearing sunglasses. It's old age. Everybody gets them as they're older. There's nothing you can do." They are like 95% gone within, like in the first 5 days. I saw these almost all the way gone. It's helped me with my flight or fight response. I'm just so calm now. I feel like I'm allowing life to happen around me instead of me trying to control life and make everything happen for me. Because that's probably one of my biggest things, a control freak. But now it's just like, I just sit back and I'm like, wow, okay, grateful. And things in my life flow so much easier with these crazy conversations and emotions out of the way. I mean, I could probably sit here for 2 hours and go on about small things that I've seen, but it's just it's a wonderful thing. I can't tell anybody how great it is. And I just wish that, I wish I'd have had it about 20 years ago or even longer than that ago if it existed. But it is really pushing me to find a more loving side of myself and want to take care of myself better, love myself, eat better, exercise more, just make myself the best version of what it can be as I do grow older. Because I look around, I see people younger than me that are in such terrible shape, and I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. I'm not going to be that. But if you have not, I would encourage everyone to try it. I guarantee you within a week, you're going to be going, wow, because it really makes that much of a difference. And I do want to iterate one thing. You don't feel high on this. Even though, because I know a lot, like my programming, when Tracy says plant medicine, my mind always goes towards, oh, drugs, it's just a programmed meaning that I've attached to the word plant medicine, and I need to dump that one. But you don't feel like you're on drugs or high with this. You feel naturally normal. But it's such a nice, normal, peaceful quietness, and it's so subtle, but it just lifts you.
I agree.
Yeah.
Beautiful share, Stephanie. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm looking here into the chat. I don't see that anyone's posted any other questions. I want to thank so much the sharing guests and thank everyone who came here. I want to reiterate one more time how important it is to embrace a healthy way of eating and a healthy way of life when you embark on any healing journey, and don't get caught into seeing Phix as a weight loss drug. The weight loss is a byproduct of what happens when your body goes into a natural state of healing and relaxation. And that's what happens when you activate the vagus nerve, is your body goes into a natural state of healing, restoration, rejuvenation, and relaxation. When that happens, the sky is the limit. Literally, your body can release toxins that are causing absolutely any disease, all the way from high blood pressure, diabetes, you name it, bad skin, mood disorder, all of these things can be healed by embracing this journey. Just make sure we're trying to eat healthily. So if anyone has any questions, you guys can message me at absolutely anytime. I'm going to be sharing this video, the link to it inside of our group on Facebook, which is Phix for Vegans, Phix, and then the number 4 vegans. There's also, for my people who are distributors, we have a messenger group, and I've created a video library where we're going to be logging all of these videos. So I have one from last week about the back office login, and then I have one from this week about this. So if you're on my distributor team, you'll have access to all of these videos, and we plan on meeting, if not every week, at least every 2 weeks. So for anyone that comes on with me, this is what it's going to be like. I'm about teaching people how the medicine works, why it works, and helping navigate as many people through this process as possible. I'm way more about that than about teaching you how to sell it, because the bottom line is that if you heal yourself and you tell your story and you want to become a distributor, then the plant medicine sells itself. It has its own consciousness, and it's going to find the people who are meant to work with it. So all of this stuff about rah, we have to sell it, we have to pump it up, this is the next greatest thing. I understand why some people have to do that, but that's not my way of operating, and it never will be. It doesn't resonate with my soul's energy. So I am here for the healing. I'm here for you guys, and every single person who signs up with me, you literally have access to me to help with your dosing, to help navigating your detoxing, because I literally find a lot of joy and fulfillment. That's what I find fulfillment from, is as a problem solver and a helper for helping people heal and become the next best version of themselves. It's literally why I'm here. So with that said, if you need anything at all, message me. If you want more information or have questions about anything I said, message me. If you want to be a part of what's going on with all of this, just come into the Phix for Vegans Facebook group, and you can find me there. And you can find me on Facebook at any time. My handle is DragonMama1358. So that's all for today, guys. I'm going to end the recording and just say thank you guys again. So much gratitude for this space, and thank you for Phix, and thank you, universe. Thank you, God, for this awesome experience. So much gratitude for each of you, and so much love. That's all.